Classic collection and wondered what in the world to do with it? Well, stick around because I'm showing you how to create a really fun, classy, masculine birthday card with lots of personality. Masculine cards do not have to be hard anymore. For today's card project share, I am creating with the new Hero Arts UR Classic collection that was just released this month, May of 2026. I don't have the full collection, as you can see here, but I did receive the UR Classic layering stencils and the UR Classic clear stamp set as part of the Hero Arts affiliate program, which is really cool. These products are perfect for creating masculine birthday cards, which is something I always need more of since I have several birthdays coming up for the guys in my life, including my husband. The layering stencils make it super easy to add soft shading and detail to the classical statues and pedestals, whether you want elegant neutral tones or fun pops of color. I also love how this collection mixes those classic museum-inspired elements with playful touches like the balloon animals, ice cream, and bright birthday accents. So fun! Everything works together so beautifully to create modern masculine cards with lots of personality and a fun artistic vibe. Let me bring in the two cards I made with this set so far. I love how they turned out. Super fun. And I'm going to make one similar to this one in today's video. So without further ado, let's get into the card making fun, y'all. To start off, I'm getting my main card panel and matte layer cut out. So I have my Spellbinders Platinum 6 die cutting machine all set up on my desk and ready to go. For the cardstock today, I'm using Spellbinders Color Wheel cardstock in Alabaster and Fawn. I'm starting with the Alabaster cardstock first and cutting it out using the Spellbinders Perfect Touch Arches Etched dies. I'm using the second to largest die in the set for my main card panel because I love the size and shape it gives for the focal area of the card. I cut a sheet of cardstock in half, place the die at a slight angle, and then I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine. One little thing I've started doing lately is placing a folded piece of copy paper underneath the cutting plate before I run it through. It acts like a protective barrier and really helps reduce those plate marks, the paper dust, the scuff lines from transferring on the cardstock. It's such a simple little trick, but it helps keep cardstock colors looking much cleaner and smoother. So give it a try. So on today's card, I really wanted to use the Spellbinders Perfect Touch Arches Etched dies because I absolutely love the look of the nested arches and all those beautiful decorative edges. They look so cool. They add so much interest and detail without needing a lot of extra work, and they give the card such a polished, finished look. I feel like the soft arch shape paired with the elegant edging works perfectly with the classy vintage feel of this Hero Arts collection. Next up, I'm pulling out some Spellbinders Color Wheel cardstock and Fawn for the matte layer behind the arch panel. I'm trimming the sheet in half with my Spellbinders scissors, and then I'm reaching for one of my all-time favorite sets here, the Spellbinders A2 Matting Basics A die set. I'm using the largest die in the set to create that background layer because it gives the perfect size border behind the arch panel and helps frame everything beautifully. I also love how the warm fawn color adds a soft contrast behind the lighter alabaster cardstock. So I ran that through the die cutting machine, and you can really see how that folded copy paper behind the cutting plate helps reduce plate marks, scratches, and paper dust on the cardstock. It's such a simple trick for cleaner die cuts. Just remember to change the paper out every so often and test your machine first so your sandwich isn't too thick, so you don't want to ruin your machine. I wanted to add a little more texture to the background, so I'm reaching for the linen 3D embossing folder. This folder gives such a beautiful woven fabric texture and makes an amazing background. So I definitely recommend having this one in your stash. Before embossing, I am lightly spritzing the cardstock off camera with my distress sprayer that I was showing you there to help prevent cracking. And then I place it into the embossing folder and run it through my machine. That turned out great. But just make sure you're using the correct sandwich setup for the 3D embossing folder. So then I wanted to do some quick and easy ink blending on the alabaster arched panel using Simon Hurley Stellar Ink and cookie dough. I'm using a really light hand here because I just want a soft, warm glow of color, not anything too heavy or overpowering. For blending, I'm reaching for my Pink Fresh Studio blending brushes. I absolutely love these large 1-inch brushes because they blend ink so smoothly and effortlessly, especially for soft backgrounds like this. I'm also lightly going around all that beautiful detailed edging on the die cut to help enhance the design and bring out all those gorgeous little details even more. Y'all, ink blending is just so relaxing to me. Honestly, I could sit here all day and blend ink onto die cuts because there's just something so calming about it. And even though this cardstock already has color, adding a little ink blending really makes such a big difference. It adds depth, dimension, and softness so the die cuts don't look flat. Even just a light touch of ink helps bring out all the details and gives the card a more finished, polished look. See the difference there? So next up, I'm pulling out my Tim Holtz Splat Box because I want to do a little shimmer and splatter to this card panel using distressed spritzes in antique linen and fossilized amber. I just thought this would be such a fun little touch for this card because y'all already know I cannot resist adding a little sparkle and shine whenever I can. I feel like the soft gold shimmer works perfectly with the classy vintage feel of this whole design and gives the background a little extra life without overpowering everything. So I'm just lightly spritzing the panel to get those pretty fine droplets and subtle shimmer all across the surface. It catches the light so beautifully in person and adds that extra something special that's hard to capture on camera sometimes. But trust me, it looks so good in real life. So one thing I always recommend with distressed spritz is to make sure you really shake the bottles up well before using them because all that gorgeous shimmer settles to the bottom pretty quickly. And then after you're done spraying, make sure to wipe off the nozzle before putting the cap back on so it doesn't clog up later. I've had that happen. That little extra step saves a lot of frustration the next time you go to use them. So remember to do that. And oh my goodness, check that out, y'all. I'm going to take this off camera and let it dry with my heat gun for a little bit. Next, I wanted to create a little floor area for the balloon animal and the statue to sit on. So I'm reaching for the Check Please stencil from one of the newer Hero Arts collections. I think it's from the You Are a Friend collection. I think this is the name of it, if I remember correctly. So I just thought the stencil would create a really cool tiled floor look for the background. It really looks like a tile, doesn't it? So for the ink blending, I'm using Simon Hurley ink in Weeping Willow, and I'm blending through the stencil and then slightly shifting it over so I can extend the pattern and cover the whole bottom portion of the panel. I love how this gives the card a little more depth and makes it feel like the statue is actually standing inside a space instead of floating on the card. So you'll see in a second what I'm talking about. So, and honestly, in my head, I'm picturing the statue of David. I know this isn't actually David because this statue has clothes on, but it totally reminds me of being in Florence when we visited years ago, maybe 7 or 9 years ago, something like that. We were there. I kept thinking about the beautiful tile floors and the museum feel from that trip. So I was kind of trying to channel that inspiration into this card. I was going off a picture that I saw on my phone. It's definitely not an exact recreation or anything, but it gave me the vibe I was going for. Next, I'm bringing in the Euro Classic Clear Stamp Set, and I'll be doing all of my stamping with my Misty and Hero Arts Intense Black ink. One little thing I do differently is I like to use tape to hold my panel in place instead of the magnets. I don't know why I do that, but for this kind of stamping, it just works better for me. And it helps keep everything exactly where I want it while I'm stamping multiple times. For this card, I knew I wanted to use the You Are Classic sentiment across the top because it fits the whole vibe of this card perfectly. I'm just lining that up and using the grid lines on the Misty to help get everything somewhat straight, or at least straight enough. Then I'm going to be bringing in the pedestal image for the statue to stand on and the column. I'm assuming that's a column image for the balloon animal. I thought those little architectural details really helped tie into the classy museum-inspired look I was going for with this design. So I'm stamping everything several times using Hero Arts Intense Black ink so I can get a really nice crisp dark impression, especially over the ink blending and shimmer already on the background. So that's coming together really nicely there. I like how it's looking. Okay, next up, I'm going to be bringing in the layering stencils so I can start adding in color to the pedestal pieces that the statue and balloon animal are going to sit on. This is honestly where the whole design really starts coming to life. I'm using Simon Hurley Stellar Inks in cookie dough, well, just one stellar ink, the rest is from his older line, Gur and Weeping Willow, to build up all those warm earthy tones and soft shadows. So I'm starting to lighter and then gradually building up the color because I really wanted these pieces to have a soft stone or marble kind of look instead of anything too harsh or heavy. The layering stencils make this process so easy because all the shading and basically mapped out for you. And you can decide how soft or dramatic you want everything to look just by adjusting your ink pressure. In between colors, I'm making sure to clean off both my blending brush and the stencil because I don't want to muddy up the colors or accidentally transfer darker ink where I don't want it. It takes an extra few seconds, but it really helps keep everything looking clean and crisp, especially when working with lighter neutral tones like these. And can we just take a second to look at that shimmer mixed with the ink blending? Oh my goodness, it looks so good together. At least I think it does. The distress spritz underneath catches the light through all the blended ink and gives everything that soft, glowy look that feels really elegant and artsy at the same time. Check that out. This is one of those moments where the card starts looking extra fancy without actually being difficult to make, and I'm absolutely loving how it's turning out, y'all. Okay, so these stencils, oh my goodness, they really add so much detail to the design. And it's just, honestly, it's just so much fun watching everything start to come to life. This is the part of card making I love the most. Just slowly building up all the layers, adding color, and seeing the whole idea that you've had in your head come together piece by piece. I was seriously having so much fun making this card. Like I said, I have so many birthdays for guys coming up. I have my dad's, my brother, and like I said, my husband, all coming up in June. My brother-in-law. So I have lots of June birthdays, so I can see me making more with this set. So anyways, I'm using my magnets here not only to hold the stencil in place, but also to cover up any little openings because I definitely do not trust myself. I do not need rogue ink blending up somewhere it shouldn't be. So the magnets are kind of doing double duty here and helping me keep everything nice and controlled while I blend. And honestly, yay for the Glassboard Studio magnetic glass mat and those super strong magnets because I use them constantly. I love that glass mat so much. It's one of those craft room tools that completely changed card making for me. Having the magnetic surface to hold everything in place just makes blending, stenciling, and lining things up so much easier and less frustrating. I never thought I'd be using this many magnets in my craft room. You should see my desk. I have all kinds of magnets from Glassboard Studio on my desk. They really are great magnets. Okay, so enough about the magnets. Anyways, I am now done with the stamping. I have to say I'm really loving that vertical happy birthday sentiment. I've been seeing that style show up more and more on cards lately, and I really wanted to try it for myself. I feel like it gives the card such a cool modern look and adds something a little unexpected compared to a traditional sentiment layout. It just makes the whole design feel more fresh and stylish. So now it's time to stencil in the statue, and I'm using the same Simon Hurley ink Stellar Inks colors. Again, I'm using Cookie Dough, Gur, and Weeping Willow. I really wanted to keep all the tones cohesive throughout the card, especially since I'm still going for that classy museum-inspired vibe that came from the photos I took in Florence years ago. So that whole trip was definitely living rent-free in my head while I was making this card. And can we talk about that little balloon animal for a second? Because he is so seriously cute. Wait till you see me color him in. I love the playful contrast between the elegant statue and the whimsical balloon detail. I already knew I wanted to make it look like the statue was actually holding the balloon, so later in the video you'll see me add a little string for that finish touch. It really makes a difference. So, which honestly ends up tying the whole design together perfectly. Also, these layering stencils are really super easy to line up, as you can see here. Hero Arts has really great stencils. Everything is really well designed, so the shading and details fall right into place and make the images look way more detailed with very little effort. So can y'all see yourselves creating with the set now that you've seen it in action? I feel like this collection is such a fun way to create masculine cards that still have a lot of personality and style without feeling boring or difficult to make. Masculine cards don't really have to be difficult, y'all. I'll have my affiliate links listed down below to Hero Arts in the description box if you want to check anything out. Shopping through those links or even just clicking through them really does help support my channel and lets Hero Arts and Spellbinders know that I sent you, which helps me continue bringing you more fun card making content like this. And you all already know how much I absolutely love creating with Spellbinders products. They are probably my favorite, honestly, but I've also adored Hero Arts for years and years, so it's always really exciting getting to combine products from companies I genuinely love using in my craft room. Okay, I'm just finishing up the stenciling here, and then, I kind of lied, y'all. There's still a little more stamping to do. I wanted to bring in some of the fun birthday accents, so I'm going to be coloring in the balloon animal using the solid stamp and also adding in the cute little ice cream cone because those statue hands just look like they needed to be holding something the way it was designed. Check that out, y'all. So good. So there are matching dies for these images, but I don't have them yet. I may have to add those to my stash eventually because they really are just so fun. And I have to say, I just love playing with Simon Hurley inks. Here, I'm using a Hero Arts ink pad. This is an ombre ink pad that I'm using to stamp the solid stamp for the little balloon animal. Okay, so I ended up getting my Misty back out to help with this because at first I thought I was just going to stamp it like the old-fashioned way with an acrylic block. But honestly, I did not trust myself, y'all. I really didn't want to mess anything up on this card because it was looking so cool at this point. So this stamp is pretty small, so the ombre effect doesn't show up super dramatically or anything, but that's okay. So the important part is I actually got it stamped inside the line, so yay. Okay, so I really decided to go for it, and I'm going to be adding the string stamp eventually. Oh, I brought up that nudger tool there to help guide in the ice cream cone stamp. It works really well for that. I like that little nudger tool from the Handicraft tool set. But anyways, honestly, I just felt like this card totally needed that string stamp. So I'm going to add it after I get this ice cream cone settled here. So I just wasn't sure at first if it was going to work. But once I stamped it in, it works. So just wait and see. Because it really helps bring in the whole design. The statue holding the balloon animal. And I just thought it was such a fun detail. So just getting in that ice cream cone there, getting it stamped. And for the ice cream itself, I decided to go with a mint chocolate chip look using Simon Hurley Stellar Ink and Iced Out. Now listen, y'all, I am absolutely not a mint chocolate chip ice cream person. No way. But I thought that soft minty color would show up really nice on this card, and another playful little pop of color. Then I colored in the cone with a Copic marker to finish it off. This card is honestly just coming together so well at this point. I love how it has that classy museum-inspired look mixed with these cute, unexpected birthday details. It just feels fun and different. So here I am getting out the little string stamp that I've been talking about because I really felt like the balloon animal needed it to finish everything off. I didn't do this on the initial card. It was already cute before, but adding that tiny detail just makes the whole scene make more sense and brings it to life even more. It really does. So now I'm not stamping the entire string image because obviously that would not fit here. But check that out, y'all. So I'm just inking a portion of that stamp, and seriously, watch how much of a difference this makes. It's such a small detail, but wow. Like I said, it really is a small little detail, but once that string is added, it suddenly looks like the statue is actually holding the balloon animal instead of it just floating there on the card. Well, not really floating because it's on the pedestal there, but still, it just changes it up. And I love little finishing touches like this because they really help tell the story of the card and make the design feel more complete and intentional. It's amazing how one little tiny stamp can totally change the look of the whole card. Just so fun. Okay, so now it's time to assemble that card. So I'm reaching for my trusty Spellbinders tape runner to adhere everything together because for some reason I can always count on that thing. I know a lot of people love liquid glue for layering panels or foam tape, but honestly I just don't love the way it makes the card feel sometimes. The tape runner keeps, check that out y'all, keeps everything nice and flat and gives the finished card a cleaner, sturdier feel in my opinion. So I'm just kind of straightening up that card panel there. So tell me, is this card masculine enough? Would you give this to a guy in your life? I feel like it has that classy, museum-inspired look, but it still keeps things fun and playful with the balloon animal and the ice cream cone. Honestly, I'm kind of obsessed with how weird and cool this turned out. It's really kind of a different set. So I'm adding everything onto a side-folded note card that I already prepped ahead of time using Neenah 110-pound cardstock. I really like using Neenah for card bases because it holds up so well once you start adding layers and dimension, and it just feels nice and sturdy in your hands without being too bulky. So just lining things up, making sure things are straight here. And I would seriously love to know what you all think about this one. So let me know down in the comments below. Do you see yourselves creating with this set? Is this your style? Are we loving the classy statue with the balloon dog situation? Because honestly, I kind of am. And if you decide to pick up anything, I always appreciate when you shop through my Hero Arts and Spellbinders affiliate links down below. It really does help support my channel and lets these companies know I sent you, which helps me keep bringing you more videos like this. Look at that, y'all. It's so pretty. I genuinely just have so much fun hanging out in my craft room, making cards and creating videos for y'all. This really is my job, which still feels kind of wild to say out loud, honestly. But I truly love getting to share these amazing Hero Arts and Spellbinders products and hopefully inspire you to pull out your supplies and create something fun too. I'm trying to get up to those 4,000 watch hours on my channel. It's going to take a while, but I want to get there. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to do all the YouTube things, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hang out with me for more card making inspiration because I would absolutely love to have you here. Watching these cards go from random supplies to finished projects honestly brings me so much joy, and I hope that comes through in the videos too. Thank you all so much for watching and supporting my channel. I really appreciate every single one of you more than you know, and I will see y'all in the next card making video. Okay, in this last little segment that I'm showing here, I just wanted to show off myself using the Altenew stamp they gifted for one of their anniversaries recently. I've been using the heck out of it. I love it. So I thought that was such a fun, thoughtful little gift, and I've actually started stamping it on my back of my cards now because I love it that much. It's just so fun and really completes the card.